You think you're ready. 20 red plastic cans, each one full to the top with gasoline. You bought them 6 months ago, maybe a year. When everything falls apart, gas stations run dry. You'll still have fuel, you'll still have power. You'll still move, while everyone else walks. Wrong. Dead wrong. The silence was deceiving. Wrong. Dead wrong. The city was already shifting. Right now, that gasoline isn't gasoline anymore. It's transforming into corrosive sludge, destroying your engine. Your generator that's supposed to keep the lights on? It'll cough once and die, silent swallowing everything. Your bug-out vehicle? Metal tombstone with cup holders. That expensive fuel you stored so carefully has turned into a 5,000-pound lawn ornament problem. Here's what we're covering: the chemistry of how fuel dies, why your stockpile is already worthless, the truth revealed, real disasters where fuel storage failed catastrophically, what you need to do before survival collapses. This isn't prepper form theory, this is basic chemistry. Hard-learned lessons from people who found out the hard way. Let's start with what nobody wants to hear. Gasoline doesn't last. It was never designed to last. The moment it leaves the refinery, it starts dying. And you can't stop it. You can only slow it down. Gasoline is a mix of hundreds of different chemicals. Most are chains of carbon and hydrogen, 4 to 12 atoms long. Some provide energy, some prevent engine knock, others are reactive olefins. They love oxygen, they bond with it eagerly. And when they do, everything goes wrong. When gasoline sits exposed to air molecules, grab oxygen. Heavy sticky compounds form. Chemists call them gums, but that name is misleading. These aren't soft. They're tar-like deposits inside fuel lines and carburetors. Anywhere the fuel flows and sits, deposits remain. At the same time, light molecules start evaporating. These are volatile ones, vaporize easily in your engine. When they're gone, what's left is heavier, less combustible. Your fuel loses power, loses ability to ignite properly. You're left with automotive syrup, useless and heavy. But here's where it gets nastier. Modern gasoline contains ethanol, usually 10%, sometimes 15%. Ethanol loves water. It pulls moisture out of air out of your fuel tank. This water dilutes fuel, reacts with chemicals to form acids. These acids eat through fuel system, corrode metal, destroy rubber seals. Your fuel isn't just going bad, it's becoming hostile. The timeline depends on what you're storing. Every fuel has limits. Pure gasoline without ethanol lasts 6 to 9 months. You might stretch it to a year if storage conditions are perfect. Premium fuel with better additives can make 9 months, maybe a year. But most gasoline today is E10, 10% ethanol. That starts breaking down in 3 months. By 6, it's unusable. By a year, it's a science experiment. Fuel mutates into sludge. If you're storing E15 or E85, you've got even less time. E15 might give you 2 to 3 months, E85 even less. E85 starts separating, splitting into 2 layers in 30 days. Temperature makes everything worse. Heat cuts storage life in half. Heat speeds up evaporation, speeds up oxidation, speeds up destruction. Light does the same. UV radiation breaks molecular bonds. Never store gasoline in clear containers. The sun destroys it. In weeks, gasoline mutates, becoming useless under the sun. Here's a question for you. How many preppers actually test fuel? Before disaster strikes, how many just assume it'll work? When they need it, how many discover too late? Let me tell you about Hurricane Katrina, August 2005. When people needed backup power most desperately, generators refused to start. Not from flooding, not from damage, from neglected fuel and poor maintenance. People had generators, they had stored fuel. They thought they were prepared. When they tried starting those machines, they got nothing, or 30 seconds of sputtering, before engines choked on varnish. The ones who did get generators running, some of them died, ran them indoors because they were desperate. Carbon monoxide doesn't care. Generators didn't start because of bad gas. Those that started killed. People died from stupidity. That's the double failure of preparation. So here's where most preppers fail catastrophically. Fuel isn't preparation. They fill containers, they stack them. They mentally check the box. Then they forget about them for 2 years. Disaster arrives. They discover expensive engine-destroying poison. Their fuel strategy was theater. They were flying blind, Prepared in appearance, doomed in reality. Let me paint the picture. Collapse happens. Silence swallows everything. You load your family into your vehicle. Supplies destination a plan. You pour your stockpiled gasoline into the tank. Engine coughs, dies. You try again. Nothing, fuel turned into varnish inside your lines. Injectors clogged, pump struggling. Against liquid honey choking the system. If you're lucky, you need a complete fuel system flush. $2,000 in repairs when money exists. Impossible when it doesn't. Maybe it runs rough. Stuttering, hesitating, coughing against bad fuel. 15 miles per hour on a highway where you need 70. Burning stockpile twice as fast. Degraded fuel has less energy. Every mile costs 2 miles of gas. Survival bleeding away. While you're crawling along at neighborhood speed, what do you think is happening? The desperate people on that road. The armed ones watching closely. They see your slow-moving vehicle. They see opportunity in weakness. This is the fuel trap, the illusion of preparation revealed. You thought you were prepared, but you weren't, not really. You just invested money in creating a future problem. So far, we've established gasoline dies. We've covered how it dies. We've seen why that matters, when real disasters hit hard. Now let's talk storage safety and what actually works. Despite grim chemistry, there are solutions, but they require effort. Most importantly, they require you not to burn your house down. Let's address the elephant in the room first. Fuel storage is dangerous. Gasoline vapor is heavier than air. It flows like invisible water, pooling in low spots, traveling floors, finding ignition sources unseen. A water heater pilot light 20 feet away, danger waiting. An electric spark from a wall switch, or motorcycling on. Any of these can turn your garage into a fireball. Never, and I mean never, store gasoline near heat sources. Not near your water heater. Not near your furnace either. Not in a garage with power tools, sparks waiting to ignite. If garage storage is unavoidable, containers need approved fuel cabinets. Better yet, external shed storage far from living areas is safest. Approved containers are mandatory. Not milk jugs, not water bottles. Not clever repurposing projects. You need red plastic or metal jerry cans. These containers are engineered to handle pressure and prevent static buildup. The wrong container will degrade inside, leaking fuel and toxic fumes. Or worse, catastrophic failure, spilling gallons of flammable liquid. Keep containers cool, dark, and dry. Survival depends on discipline. Fill them to 95% capacity. Leave a small air gap. Minimal oxygen touching fuel. This is the balance for survival. Too full and pressure builds. Too empty, oxidation accelerates. Local fire codes exist for good reasons. Limits protect against catastrophe. Most jurisdictions limit fuel storage. Usually 25 gallons residential. Some areas allow more with permits. Approved storage facilities required. Reality check. Consult your fire marshal, know the rules before disaster. But when disaster is incoming, nobody counts your jerry cans. Top off fast, use what you need. Burn excess in daily vehicles. Get back under the legal limit once the crisis finally passes. The law matters in peacetime. In crisis, staying mobile matters more. Insurance companies will count those jerry cans if your house burns down. They'll find you storing 3 times the legal limit, deny your claim. You'll lose everything, not to disaster, but to your own violation. Bend the rules when the system fails, but don't ignore basic safety. Don't be the idiot who hoards 50 gallons when everything was fine. Keep a fire extinguisher rated for gasoline fires near storage. Not in your house, right there where you store fuel. If something goes wrong, seconds matter, not minutes. You won't have time to run inside. Grab it from the sink. First defense against degradation is fuel stabilizers. Petroleum-based additives slowing oxidation. Most consumer-grade stabilizers, like Stabil, work for about 12 months. They contain antioxidants, interrupting chemical processes, destroying your fuel. Add them to fresh gas. Follow the ratio on the bottle. 1 ounce per 2.5 gallons. You've bought yourself a year. But there's another category, industrial-grade stabilizers like PRIG. These cost more, sometimes 3 times as much, but they claim more. They market themselves as restoration products, not just preservation. The claim is rejuvenation. Break down gum deposits, restore octane. Is this magic? No. Is it marketing? Partly. Chemistry is different. Aggressive detergents and dispersants. Not miracles, but chemical force. Year-old sludge won't become fresh gas, but marginal fuel may survive. Worth having a bottle for emergencies. Your call. Survival is choice. Critical detail everyone misses with stabilizers. Add them to fresh fuel. Once fuel has seriously degraded, you're fighting uphill against chemistry. It's preservation, not resurrection, despite what the marketing says. Mix it well. Run your engine a few minutes to circulate. Then store it. Survival depends on discipline, not blind hope. Second strategy is rotation. Discipline separates survivors from casualties. Mark every container with purchase date. Create a rotation schedule. Use the oldest fuel first, pour it into your daily driver. Larger fuel system and modern injectors. Handle degraded fuel better. Replace it with fresh fuel. Treat the fresh fuel immediately. Here's the part nobody talks about: transferring fuel without disaster. How do you transfer 20 liters without spilling half or breathing fumes? Don't be the movie character who sucks on a hose. Gasoline in your lungs gives chemical pneumonia. Not dramatic, just painful. Buy a $10 shaker siphon. Clear hose with check valve inside. Shake it up and down. Gravity does the rest. No mouth contact, no swallowing fuel, no choking on benzene vapors. It's physics working for you instead of against you. Serious about rotating fuel? This tool makes danger manageable. This isn't exciting. It's boring logistics keeping you alive. Boring logistics keep you mobile when everyone else is stranded. Every 3 months, check supplies. Every year, rotate your stock. This never ends. There's no victory lap, no forgetting. Visual inspection is basic but useful. Survival depends on small details. Fresh gasoline is clear to slightly yellowish. Oxidation darkens it amber. The smell shifts from sharp petroleum to something sour and stale. If fuel looks or smells off, it probably is. Compare a sample against fresh fuel. The difference will be obvious. For peace of mind, test questionable fuel in a small engine first, something you can afford to clean or repair if fuel fails. Never gamble with your primary vehicle or critical backup power. Using questionable fuel is risk. Survival demands discipline, not luck. Now let's talk alternatives. Gasoline isn't your only option. For long-term storage, gasoline might not be your best option. Diesel fuel is more stable. Pure diesel lasts 6 to 12 months. With stabilizers and conditions, push storage to 18 or 24 months. Longer for low-sulfur diesel, stored in good underground tanks. Main enemies of diesel are water and biological growth inside tanks. Bacteria and fungi multiply, clogging filters with biomass colonies. The solution is biocide additives and keeping tanks completely full. Diesel engines are more durable, simpler mechanically than gasoline engines. No spark plugs, no complex ignition systems. Simplicity means reliability. They produce more torque, vital for generators and heavy vehicles. Diesel fuel has more energy per gallon. Long-term plans demand efficiency. Diesel makes more sense than gasoline. Higher cost, better reliability. Then there's propane, the prepper's secret weapon fuel that outlives everything. Stored properly in undamaged tanks, propane has indefinite shelf life. It doesn't oxidize, doesn't absorb water, doesn't degrade naturally. Most people don't tell you. Propane gas doesn't go bad, containers do. Weakest point of propane systems: valves and seals degrading over time. Valve stems develop small leaks. Pressure relief valves can malfunction. When they clog or fail, propane slowly escapes into the atmosphere. Inspect propane tanks regularly. Survival depends on vigilance, not assumptions. Apply soapy water to valve connections. Watch for bubbles your leak detector. Even small leaks matter. Long-term storage turns trivial into disaster. 1% loss per year. A decade means your supply evaporates. In hot weather, valves vent. Tanks in sunlight lose fuel faster. Store propane tanks upright. Shaded locations, stable surfaces matter. Keep them away from ignition sources, 10 feet from structures minimum. Inspect valves annually. replace damaged or corroded components immediately. A well-maintained steel propane tank can last 30 years. Propane inside remains good, year 30 as day 1 if sealed. Propane powers generators, heats homes, fuels, cooking equipment, even modified vehicles. It burns cleaner than gasoline or diesel, less carbon buildup in engines. More expensive per gallon equivalent, propane requires compatible equipment. For true long-term storage, 20-year emergency plans demand propane. Propane is unbeatable if maintained. System integrity ensures survival. Kerosene is another option worth considering. Less volatile than gasoline, safer to store. It can last several years, if kept in proper containers away from heat. Mainly used for heating and lighting, some diesel engines run with modifications. Good energy density. Less common now, but hard to beat for heating fuel. Planning for grid-down permanence. Think about renewable options like wood. Wood has fueled humanity since fire. It still works when others fail. But wood requires effort. Cut it, split it, season it, store it. A cord of hardwood keeps you warm, but must be processed in advance. Wet or green wood burns poorly. Survival demands patience and preparation. If you want to keep your family safe, when the system fails, subscribe. We analyze what others ignore. Survival depends on seeing the unseen. Here's what most survival education won't tell you. Fuel matters less than systems. You can have 1,000 gallons, perfectly stabilized gasoline waiting in silence. Without discipline to rotate it, knowledge to treat it, equipment to use it. You've just created future problems. Survival undone by neglect and silence. Fuel storage is a commitment. It requires monitoring maintenance mental bandwidth. Preppers who succeed long-term understand discipline, not just stockpiling fuel. They manage ongoing systems. They rotate, they test, they maintain. They diversify fuel sources instead of betting everything on gasoline. They have propane for cooking and heating, diesel reserved for heavy equipment, gasoline for mobility, treated and rotated regularly to ensure survival. Wood for backup heat, multiple options because every fuel has weaknesses. Redundancy is how you survive when one system inevitably fails. Let's talk quantity. How much fuel do you actually need? Most people think bigger is better. Fill every container you can find. That's how you end up, garage full of ticking time bombs. Storage isn't free. You're trading space risk hazards and money. The real answer depends entirely on what you're planning to do. Bugging out 300 miles away, you need enough to get there twice. Because you might fail the first time, survival demands redundancy. Staying home means enough fuel to run essential equipment for duration. Baseline, generator at half load burns a gallon every 6 to 8 hours. Run it 4 hours daily. Refrigeration and charging batteries consume half a gallon. 15 gallons per month, 180 gallons per year. That's assuming everything goes perfectly, but it won't not ever. Double it for safety margin. Survival demands redundancy, not hope. 360 gallons, a year of minimal power. That's serious storage space and relentless rotation effort. For vehicles, the math depends on distance traveled and fuel economy. Modern Sudden might get 30 miles per gallon. Truck or SUV, maybe 15. Bug out location 200 miles away. You need 7 to 13 gallons. Assuming clear roads is generous. Plan for detours, traffic multiple attempts. Periodic trips beforehand to cache supplies, 50 to 100 gallons minimum. These numbers scale fast. They become overwhelming, crushing confidence quickly. 360 gallons, 14 times your legal storage limit. Most preppers fail at fuel storage. Too little or impossible fantasies. The solution isn't giving up. It's being realistic, legal, and safe. Diesel, propane, wood. Different fuels, different regulations, same survival results. One more thing nobody discusses. In real collapse, fuel becomes currency. More valuable than gold. More useful than silver portable energy for survival. The person with fuel has options. They can scout, forage, relocate. The person without fuel is static, vulnerable, limited to their feet. This creates security problems. 50 gallons in your garage makes you a target. Think about operational security. Don't advertise, don't tell neighbors, don't post online. Store it somewhere not obvious. Collapse makes desperate people do desperate things. Fuel is worth killing for. This isn't paranoia, it's pattern recognition. Every collapse shows the same pattern. Scarce resources breed danger and violence. Bottom line, modern gasoline degrades in 3 to 6 months. Ethanol makes it worse. Oxidation, evaporation, and water absorption are the enemy. Fuel stabilizers extend shelf life, if added to fresh fuel immediately. Proper storage in approved containers. Cool, dark locations are essential. Safety protocols are mandatory. Rotation is mandatory. Diesel lasts longer. Propane lasts indefinitely, if you maintain valves and seals carefully. Both have strategic advantages. Survival depends on disciplined fuel management. Test your stockpile periodically. Mark containers with dates clearly. Create a rotation schedule and stick to it relentlessly. Diversify fuel types. Don't bet everything on gasoline. Build redundancy. Understand security implications of storage. Treat fuel like the valuable, degrading, dangerous resource it is. Before implementing any of this, consult local authorities about regulations. Fire codes exist for good reasons. Contact your local fire marshal. Check FEMA guidelines and state emergency services. Read the regulations carefully. Follow the rules. This information is educational. Safety is your responsibility. The grid might hold, society might even stay stable. Fuel might just rotate through vehicles for years without drama. But if trucks stop rolling and pumps run completely dry, you'll understand too late. Fuel isn't just about having it. It's about having it when needed, stored safely, used effectively. Stay safe out there. Protect your family. Protect yourself always. Remember, the best survival plan is one you can execute. Execute when everything else has failed. Discipline is survival's last defense.